Welcome back to another Self-Improvement Sunday with Cameron and Chelsea Pleasant.
Hello.
Hope you had a good week.
Today we are talking about the 5 love languages. This is from Dr. Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages, which was written like a really long time ago, but it sells like crazy. It's an incredible book. And so we wanted to kind of, provide some knowledge from it and help you apply it to your life. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of the love languages and provide some examples of how you could use them. And maybe see what you identify with, the important people in your life, not just your significant other, but family members, making sure everyone in your life feels loved and appreciated and you're speaking their love language. So the first one is acts of service.
Acts of service. That's definitely my love language. The thing about love language is it's something that, so I try to project my love language onto Chelsea all the time. Like acts of service is mine. So what I do around the house is try to keep a clean house. I do this for her, do that for her, but I'm speaking my love language to her.
I don't hear it as love.
Yeah. Exactly. So she doesn't really hear it as love. But when she does it, I love it so much. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing because you're speaking my love language. You know what I want. You know the dishes need to be done or things get done before I come home. I'm like, wow, this is getting done.
It fills his love tank.
My love tank would be full all the time. Yes.
Yeah. Some other things. I mean, cleaning is the main thing that I do for you. But I think just taking stress off of someone's plate. So, for example, for Christmas, for Cameron, I redecorated our entire bedroom.
Yes.
He left for a weekend, so rather than doing a typical gift, I still got you little gifts, but that was the bulk of it. I spent a whole weekend with my friend, and we painted, redecorated. I mean, it looked amazing.
Stuff that needed to get done that we wanted to do and that she knew was on my bucket list or my task to do. She went ahead and accomplished that for me, filling my love tank, saying, hey, you don't need to worry about this anymore. I got you. I'm speaking your love language. I got your back. So that's, I love that in a partner.
So the next love language would be physical touch. And so I think immediately most people think like, sexy time. But Dr. Gary Chapman is really careful to make sure people know that it's not just sex. It's any time, just physical touch, hugging, snuggling, feeling that physical connection with someone beyond just the bedroom
romantic
time.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So like something as simple as when you come home, giving your partner a hug, or before they go to bed, rubbing their back, stuff like that is what their love language would be. So it's very important to keep that in mind if your partner has that. If you have that, that's what you express love as. And this could come from your mom way back when you were a kid, is that she showed you love by holding you tightly or anything like that. That's how you express love when you were a kid. So as you become an adult, that's how you think love should be.
Yeah. And so you have to pay attention that's how, if you receive love that way, if it's missing in your relationship, finding a way to communicate that is important. The next one is words of affirmation, which I don't think it's mine.
She says it's not, but she actually, all 5 of them are hers, so it's amazing. Lucky me.
So words of affirmation is, it's just as it sounds. Telling me I'm pretty.
Yes.
Like telling me my food's good that I made you.
Yes.
The
things like that. I would say, and then I would say awarding them with words of affirmation for a job well done. So she did some acts of service, acknowledging those things.
You better acknowledge.
Hey, yes. Hey, babe, I noticed you did this. Thank you so much. This lifted some things off my plate. I appreciate you. Everything that you do. Every once in a while, that's what they need. So. Yeah.
So every time I've taken the quiz, I get this next one, which is gifts. And gifts is often like misconstrued as kind of materialistic, which I don't identify as a materialistic person at all. But I like that physical memento of just like it makes you go, oh, so like a better example than a big old gift would be just a note, a note,
Yeah.
a birthday card, little things like that. Valentine's Day, it doesn't need to be over the top, but Cameron went out of his way to make sure I had a card even though we were traveling all day. And yeah, as silly as it sounds, like when you tag me in that thing on Facebook, to me that's like this, it felt like a gift. You know what I mean? It felt like him going out of his way to give me a gift. So
And I did do 101 things I love about you.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I love it. I keep every single one.
Very small gifts. It was simple. I was at work and I figured this idea, 101 things I love about her, and I just handwritten. Took me a long time, but I did accomplish my work. Just writing things that I love about her, and then every once in a while giving her, hey, like here, 160 or 98. Here, this is.
Yeah. And he just drops them every once in a while. Yeah. And it's always a nice surprise. The last one, the fifth love language, is quality time.
Yes.
And quality time would be honestly like what Cameron and I are doing right now. I think spending quality time together, not on our phones, not stimulated by something, but stimulated by our conversation with each other.
Being present, being in the moment with each other, I think
Yeah.
that's a big quality time. Cooking together, I mean, just doing any acts, like just recently we started painting the kitchen, so that was quality time that we spent together. Granted, we're not talking, but we're still sharing the same space, we're still doing the same task. Those quality times, so she's not doing it by herself, I'm not doing it by myself. We're spending that quality time together, accomplishing the same goal, but being present for each other in that moment. I think that's really what quality time
Yeah.
is about.
So one of the things that Dr. Gary Chapman talks about, because you may be listening to these love languages and thinking, oh, well, I identify with like 3 of them. Everybody has one primary love language as per Dr. Gary Chapman. So you can take the quiz online, but I highly recommend reading the book. It's really freaking good and it goes way in depth, and you start to realize why you may be getting this result on the quiz. Because had I just heard gifts, I would have not identified with it. But learning that it's that physical memento, and when it's missing, I feel they're kind of empty. And that was what he talked about. He's like, don't think about so much about what you crave. Think about if blank was missing, if you had no physical touch in your relationship, none of those like back rubs and hugging when you get home, all those things, if that was completely missing from your relationship, would you be okay? Would you feel loved? Would you still feel loved?
Yeah.
And for me, I do go back and forth though between words of affirmation though and gifts, because if you never said anything nice to me, who would be okay with that? No one.
I know. I know. But it's all about the primary one. As long as you're knocking out that primary one, but they're all really important.
I think so.
That's the hard part. It's a juggling act, trying to remember gifts and touch and words of affirmation, quality time. It's hard to remember all those things because in my mind, I know my primary love language is, so I always want to do that. That's what I always want to project. I'm thinking I'm speaking a love language to her. I'm like, yes, I'm cleaning this and I'm getting these things done. But her love tank is empty because that's not what her love language is. She's like, okay, but you didn't say anything nice about when I did something. So that's really what this book has opened up for us, is realizing that we have love language and that our partners have love languages, and we try to fulfill our partner's love language, but also identify with the partner. Hey, babe, just reading this book or listening to this book, we realized, hey, okay, we identified, so now we both know how to speak each other's love language, and now we keep that in the back of our mind all the time while we're doing anything. It's like, all right, I know it's been a while since I gave her a card, all right, I gotta give her a card, or stuff like that. Just identifying ways that we can keep the love tank full is a big thing.
Well, and also something that Dr. Chapman talks about is oftentimes in relationships we focus on what we are not getting. He uses several examples, but just like one I remember was this woman wanted her husband to paint this particular room, and he kept not painting the room and he kept doing other things. And so it was very evident that this man knew his wife wanted him to paint this room, but he just wasn't doing it. And there's many occasions where I'm not doing something that Cameron wants me to do, but I don't necessarily feel compelled to do it when I'm nagged, right? But I feel very compelled to do it when he is speaking my love language and I feel very loved and my love tank is full. So he kind of uses that strategy in building a more solid relationship and changing behaviors in your partner. I hate to say changing behaviors in your partner, but encouraging them to do something that you've been wanting them to do rather than nagging. Try to speak their love language and make them feel loved because they know what you want. They just need to feel compelled to do it.
And I really kind of broke it down because I'm not that good at remembering things, or like things like I do for like 2 weeks strong, then it falls to the wayside. So really, I actually set a reminder on my phone sometimes. When I was deployed, I set a reminder for every 2 weeks to send Chelsea this long text message. What I got to do to create a habit to where 2 years from now, or a couple months down the road, I automatically do that without even thinking. Before my alarm goes off on a Wednesday, I know, okay, it's Wednesday, it's the second Wednesday, I need to send Chelsea something, letting her know I love her still. But I mean, don't make it seem like it's a task. It kind of seems like a task. You're like, oh God,
It's just effort.
It is. I mean, it's a relationship, so it takes effort. You got to put in the time, put in the work. Nothing's perfect, but identifying these 5 love languages, it just helps so much. Like all dogs, I believe, is just touch. Like that's how they feel loved.
Our dogs love touch.
They want touches all the time.
Yeah.
So that's their primary love language. That and treats, so gifts.
Hope this was helpful for you guys. I highly encourage you to pick up the book. Your first book, if you've never used Audible, is actually free. I included a link below, so take advantage of it because it's a killer deal. And this will totally help you in your relationships.
Yeah, and make sure you listen to it with your partner.
Yes.
Then you can identify things together. Like
you'll have those like moments where you go,
like, oh, that's him or that's her. Definitely. So.
But focus on giving, not getting.
Yes.
That's the number one thing in relationships.
Oh my God.
A relationship is a place to give.
Part.
Yes.
That's probably the hardest part because you know what your love language is. And you know when
Just
your tank is coming empty and you're like, oh, I'm at fucking 20%, or I don't feel loved. It's not about feeling loved, it's about giving that love.
All right. Well, happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
See you next Sunday. Check out the link.